Hello and welcome back to the Duckpond Ace Attorney Investigations Book Club. My name is Ziggy, and this week I am joined by Goomb and Allie to talk more about Ace Attorney Investigations, the Captive Turnabout. Quite a turnabout
Woo!
indeed. And of course, I'm joined by Goomb and Allie. Goomb, Allie, how'd you feel about this case before we get started? There's a lot to talk about in this
I
one.
loved this case. It was such a good case.
Yeah. Goomb, what about you?
It's good.
Yeah.
Goblin, you probably shouldn't be here.
Welcome to the Ace Attorney Book Club. Did
I
you
mean,
did you
you're
do
welcome to be here, but I'm assuming you still intend on playing this game. You probably don't want to hear in-depth spoiler discussion for this game and the previous one, which will happen. This is
Yes.
not
it will occur?
We have a goblin in the audience, but anybody that is not actually in the book
Well,
club can't speak here,
I
fortunately.
just know that he has it on his wish list and has not played it because we've talked about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think you'd rather experience the game without me talking about everything first.
It's fair. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about in this case, and there's gonna be a lot to talk about in most of the cases in this game because I don't know about you guys, but these ones are pretty chunky. So, how about we just get
It was
right into
quite
it?
a long case for a second case.
We start out in a prison sort of area with a pretty cool opening to the case, revealing that our culprit from last case, Knight, is dead. What the heck? How the heck did he die? Oh,
They took him out back and shot him.
we find that out. But pretty cool opening to a case because we immediately start in a new view of the detention center room, the famous place that we've always gone to go see clients and stuff in past games, but now we get to see a more zoomed out view. We also get to see the guard in there being a lot less professional than he is around Phoenix, or around Edgeworth, I guess. He's a lot more
He's
professional
also
around
less
Phoenix.
of a statue.
Yeah. And right away, I mean, man, it's pretty cool that we get to explore the whole like detention center here, which apparently also has a prison connected to it. But I was pretty pleased with that. I don't know, maybe I talk about in the past some how some of the references can get kind of grating, but I feel like for this one, cause since this is already like an established place in the lore, I'm a lot more happy with this whole like facility basically kind of being a reference, but also being expanded upon in this game and like
I mean, there's not really that many references to old games. There's like one character and then like one background element, and that's about it.
Was
I
the
guess
facility reference?
this entire place. I mean, it's not like it's a place that's existed in the past. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you just say like, oh well, the detention center exists, but
This is where they send the criminals.
Maybe it just feels a little. Badgerland feels a bit different. I mean, I know it's Gatewaterland, but it's basically Badgerland. It feels a little bit different to me, but I don't know.
But at least for that, they talked about the development of it throughout multiple games. Like this one, it's just an entity that exists. But Badgerland, I'm a Badgerland defender. I think that they absolutely should have done a case with Badgerland. I think that it was a good setting for a case.
I mean,
anyways, back to this case.
all I'll say on that is that they never had any world building that there would be badgers there when they were offhandedly mentioning Gatewaterland. So, oh well.
Oh wait, that is a good point. Why are the badgers there? Why is it a police thing?
They're just
police
there.
department is sponsoring Gatewaterland, is what they say in the game.
Interesting. But I especially with the characters that they chose to bring back, I thought I don't know. It was such an interesting case to watch through. I had a much easier time, I think with this case remembering characters than in other recent ones, so that was pretty helpful.
Yeah, but
everyone
anyways,
was iconic.
We're immediately taken by a police officer to the prison sort of ward of the detention center and into one of the workshops to find Knight's dead body, and then we immediately hop into a little investigation section here. I kind of thought this area at first was some sort of like torture chamber. I don't know, but I mean, obviously, it hadn't been explained yet that there were a bunch of animals around here.
Haven't you
So
played Persona 5? The torture chambers and police and prisons are under the ground. You can't
yeah,
like put that in plain
at the
sight.
school, right?
No, I'm talking about where they take the protagonist at the very beginning of the game. Spoilers for the beginning of the first hour.
Yeah, but like just like the whip being in here and like the hook, I don't know. It kind of just gave me those vibes, but clearly it was not. After we go through more of this case, I'm also looking at my footage right now. We do get to see a Gumshoe hunched down sprite for the first time in this area, so that's something.
You get another ladder versus step ladder. You get cage versus cell. When they're debating what to refer to like the prison as.
Mm-hmm.
At
Yeah.
least I think it's in this area. I don't know. I might have. It might be ahead of time. I don't really remember the fine details right now. But I mean, we can get to it when we get to it.
Yeah. Let's see though. When does this happen? I'm trying to figure out when this guy appears. Yes. Okay. So before we get to some deductions that we have to do, a new character gets introduced. Eddie Fender. What the heck? A defense attorney working at Edgeworth. Edgeworth.
Well, he doesn't say
What?
Edgeworth go office quite yet, but I mean, that's like the
we'll learn
entire
that
place.
later.
So we can talk about it.
But I gotta say, I'm a fan of Eddie Fender. He's pretty good throughout this entire case. He's got a good theme. I especially like his animations.
Sorry, the name really threw me off. I'm like, who are you talking about? Until I'm like, oh, you're talking about Ray, of course. I forgot again that the names are different from the fan translation versus the later official one. So,
Yes.
well, his name is Eddie Fender.
Eddie Fender.
Yeah. That's cute. Okay, I'm a big fan.
I don't know what that's supposed to be play on, but
A defender.
A defender?
Oh,
Yeah.
Eddie
I feel like
Fender.
that's obvious.
Yeah, it's like that's, I don't
Oops. Look, I kept saying it like as Eddie and then Fender. I didn't say it fast enough to
Yeah.
click in my mind. But he's pretty cool.
That was like the one main character name people were like really complaining about before the collection's released because they're like, oh, this pun is too obvious.
Wow. I don't know. Goomb, what's your thoughts on Eddie Fender? Eddie Fender.
I think it's a very smart idea for a character to have so obviously you have all the Ace Attorney protagonists, they're very proud of them.
Very what?
Gregory
Sorry,
Edgeworth
can you
is
say that
dead.
again?
Like you have all the Ace Attorney protagonists, they'll have their teenage girl following them around. Like Edgeworth with Gumshoe, and then with Kay, and then Phoenix with Maya, and sometimes Pearl, who's not teenage. I guess Gumshoe isn't teenage either.
Yeah.
Gumshoe's older than Edgeworth. But I think it's very smart to have like as a character in the Edgeworth games being like the teenage girl that Gregory Edgeworth left behind when he died.
Wow, yeah.
He was also like a 40-year-old man, but we don't acknowledge that part.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's like in his 30s, I don't know.
Hardened, worn down by the system.
Yeah, he used to be the teenage girl, and now he's grown up and angry at Edgeworth for being Von Karma.
Yeah.
And I think that's fun. It's a fun dynamic that plays into Edgeworth's past very well.
I did take a screenshot when he first shows up. He calls himself a bit of an ace attorney, and I was like, "Oh, that's the thing." So
yeah, that's the second time they've said Ace Attorney.
Yeah,
because Phoenix
that's his name. He is the Ace Attorney.
But good to have him introduced. New character immediately, probably going to be a pretty important one if I had to guess. So I'm glad to have him along.
Pixel Partners mentioned that he kind of looks like a Ninja Sex Party Danny, like with the hair, and they kind of ended up voicing him like that. But then later, when he does his objection, and he's like, "Oh, look at my voice," it ended up being a lot lower than they were voicing him, which just completely threw off my perception of the character. Like the goofy voice they gave him versus like the serious official detective tone, or not detective.
Yeah, I will say my voice for him in my head did not match what his voice was when he did his first objection. So it's kind of different. We get some good information from here though about door sensors and stuff. I think I got stuck on this deduction though, because them bringing those. I'm trying to read through my notes here again. I thought that we needed to deduce the whole reason that they were bringing up the door sensors is that he didn't have a bracelet on at all. So I kept pointing out like his arms, or
Well, he wasn't in the prison. He's just a guy. He's not at his trial yet.
yeah, they were asking us to point out the glove, I guess, which was I don't know, but whatever. Also, my intuition really tells me that usually bracelets like that are like on people's legs, but you couldn't see his legs at all.
Well, they didn't want to put them on the legs because then you wouldn't be able to see them in the sprites for all the prisoners.
Yeah. So, oh well. You know what? Yeah,
'Cause
yeah, that makes a ton of sense. I actually didn't think about that until you just brought it up. Because I wanted
Because
to.
all Ace Attorney characters are like, until you get to the 3D games, the Ace Attorney characters are only like the top half of a body at all times.
Yeah.
And then you still like all. If your name isn't Barack von Sykes, you still like barely see the legs of the 3D models. You just have them now.
Let's see. Eventually, though, we get out of this place once we're done investigating, and we go over to look at some of the questions, some of the inmates in the place. This is also where we encounter that dog for the first time, the kind of scary dog, and also all of the other animals, I think. I really like the interaction with Edgeworth and the dog, where he refuses to lose to it by staring it down. That's pretty funny.
I don't know if I saw that.
It's in the main story, but they might have not had that in the fan translation.
Oh, maybe.
It, like in one of his thoughts in his mind with like the blue text, he literally says, "I refuse to lose to a dog."
That's so him. Oh my goodness, that's good.
That's great.
What's that?
Anyways, though, we meet a new character. Oh. We meet another new character, one of the inmates in this place. What's his name?
Rocco Carcerato.
Carcerato. Yes, I know what his name is supposed to mean. It's incarcerated.
And then Rocco because of Rocky. And I actually wrote Rocky in my notes at one point because I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Because like his animations where he's like constantly stimming are just funny to me. Where he's like constantly like ducking and weaving.
Yeah.
The famous fist fight talking to somebody and giving testimony.
Oh my god, and his freaking bear! Oh my goodness.
It's kind of funny that
his animation is really good.
All the Rocco parts and like the part 1 of the investigation are just like, oh, we talked to some random prisoner to like learn more about the situation. He's like the one guy in the entire prisoner who knows like nothing.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's the parrot in there behind one of the bars, but you can't talk or investigate the parrot at all. I tried twice.
Yeah, that's why I was saying there's like a visual thing where like it looks like Yanni Yogi's parrot from Ace Attorney 1, but I don't know if it's the same one because birds don't. I mean, like they're birds; they don't look that different from each other.
Yeah. There's also the other inmate that's right next to him that he says basically he heard about they yell from, I think. But they don't, that guy doesn't get a sprite, and also when you talk to him, he immediately is like, if I get out of here, I'm gonna like kill all of you or whatever. So yeah, they didn't want to give him much time, I guess.
There are like zoo placards in front of the prison cells. Yeah, there are only 2 of them. I wish there were more because it's funny. It's a funny concept.
Yeah, not sure how to feel about that, but I do like the kind of contrast in this entire case where all of these prison inmates have like very cute animals, but then like they're the most horrible people. Even Rocco turns out to be a not great guy. So, but we end up doing a mind chess with him. I wrote down in all caps here, bide time, because yes, they once again did have Edgeworth say, I should be sure to bide my time during this mind chess. So that's a good thing to know. And then you have some back and forth with him with like his testimony. I think you have a single testimony with him about a person screaming.
Yeah, he has like a whole set of sprays for punching with like weighted arm things on, but he drops them after like the very first section of the mine chest. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Let's taking the
I
weights off.
I think right around where we're talking about is when one of my favorite lines comes into play. What did you say his name was in that translation? Rocco?
Yeah,
Am I
it's
actually don't
J.
remember.
Elbert fan translation.
Oh yes, Elbird. I didn't like that name, but I guess Jailbird makes sense. So, that's pretty close. But he's a weight I'll gladly bear, in reference to his little oh, I almost dropped my phone. And to his polar bear, I thought was the freaking cutest little pun thing. As a social worker and therapist and someone who's big into like rehabilitation and thinks that the prison system is corrupt generally, I think it is so cool and interesting how they like brought in animal therapy into this case, and just the fact that the inmates were so in love with their animals as well. It just, oh, my heart was so warmed. I know it's all fictional, but it made me happy.
I mean, I don't know how in love he is with Teddy by the end of this case, but
Yeah.
He gets a little annoyed, but
My favorite quote from him was he was talking about like not caring about the scream or whatever. He said, "Besides, this is the joint. Don't nobody thank nobody for getting involved in what ain't none of their concern." I don't know, just the way he says that. It's pretty funny to me. But you kind of get cut short with this guy because we get the introduction of 2 more new characters. Who immediately get their names. We got Verity, Gavel, and Eustace Winter. I gotta say, they did a really good job of making me not like these guys immediately, especially Verity. Not a huge fan.
Yeah. I really like both of them as characters. I think their introduction is very strong. I especially like how so you were saying back in the first case how like they had to do the extraterrestrial rites again.
Yeah.
And that is to gel with this, because generally Ace Attorney doesn't like they like give minimal information that is necessary to understand what is happening in the current game from the previous games, even though they all like follow each other generally. So they wanted to repeat the thing where Edgeworth kind of goes against the legal system to like find the truth and finish the investigation, so that it can be called into conflict with when Gavel shows up and is like, "We're taking you off the case, Edgeworth. You're a loose cannon."
Yeah. I throughout this entire case, I can already see them building that up, and I feel like it's a much stronger hook for this game than sort of the smuggling ring that you had in the last game for Edgeworth to kind of be
the
called.
last game tries to build up like a hook where it's like, oh, what do you do when you're trying to confront someone who's above the law? But the problem is they introduced that hook incredibly late into the game. It's like the fourth case where it comes up for the first time.
I was so uninvested in the last game in the story, but this one I agree. I feel like it took me on a lot better. Sorry, Goomb.
And also, they actually, with Eustace Winter and Verity Gavel being introduced, we actually have the full main cast for the game that's on the cover. In the second case, who could have thought it?
Exactly, yeah. I was like, but dang, there's a lot of characters being introduced in this case that actually seem like they'll have bearing on other cases. So
I'd imagine they must have gotten like similar complaints to what I have with Ace Attorney Investigations 1, because it definitely seems like they took that into account when they were like designing this game scenario.
Yeah. I will say two things about also this sort of reveal. One, maybe I meant to say this before, but I like how this game takes place over more days and with mostly less flashbacks, although I know the entire next case is an entire flashback, but I like that this case happens like 2 days later and then they have to wait a day, and I think another day actually passes too.
Yeah, this case takes place over like 3 days.
But it's a little bit more similar to the normal Ace Attorney games, so not everything happening within like the span of like 2 hours or whatever in game time, being a little bit weird. And then the other thing,
I definitely agree. Definitely felt like the original Ace Attorney game. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm a little bit not exactly in agreement with the territorial rights Edgeworth like abusing that, because wasn't he like being held against his will by like an assassin in order to do, like he forced him to investigate the scene. So I don't
That's
know if
not
I
the
agree with
part that
that.
was problematic. The part that
But
was problematic is after Dig Killer left and he went to
yeah,
like interrogate the Tishan Wong.
yeah. I was thinking it was probably after that.
They specifically, one of the things she specifically calls out, like the prosecutorial investigation committee, or whatever
Mhm.
they might not be called that in this version. I don't remember which one is the fan translation,
Okay.
but she calls out that they like did not like that he went to just interrogate a foreign leader.
Yeah. We might have already skipped over it, but also I think Rocco mentioned somebody called the Fixer at this point, so just had to point that out. There's a Fixer
Yeah,
in the prison.
Limbus Company.
Yeah. And then that's pretty much the it for part beginning of this case. You kind of just have to leave. They get you out of there, so you got to figure out a way to get back in the case. And what better way than to become a defense attorney again? By being under Fender. So now we're working under Fender, and we also have a client that we have to defend this time with Fender, which is pretty cool. We get introduced to Simeon Saint, who, I mean, his design was okay at first. It like jumped up a lot once we get like his full character sprite eventually later, but I think he's a interesting guy in the beginning.
I think he's so cute and awkward. I really like the pigtails. The character design for this case really just knocked it out of the park.
See, it's a simian because monkey, and then also he does the speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil in separate sprites. Wow, monkey.
Yeah,
I was curious if that's what he was referencing because he kept doing that, and oh my goodness, he is so cute.
Monkey.
Yeah. As eventually gets revealed, the Big Berry Circus is in prison.
Oh yeah, I guess there are two characters that come back. I keep forgetting Regina's in this case.
So we have Money the monkey return, and I don't know what they did with him, but he's so much cuter in Simeon sprites, especially with that whole like Ratatouille bit they got going on. It's so good.
It's probably because he isn't just trapped in a tiny box. He's also not like actively stealing your attorney's badge and not faking the funk on a nasty dunk or whatever he's doing in Turnabout Big Top.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna have that play into the case a little bit, his whole stealing shiny objects thing, but I guess they trained him not to do that anymore. So,
especially with the bells and everything, because there is a lot of metallic shiny things in the case. You'd think that they would have played on that. That's so strange.
Yeah.
I mean, the two bells in the case are pretty difficult for the monkey to get, considering that they are not in acquisition range.
Yeah, one of them is on like a very scary dog. So
yeah.
Fortunately, that would not work out well for Money. Also, at this point, oh, you go.
At this point in the official translation, around this point, somebody, I didn't write down who because I don't remember anymore. It's been too long. But somebody references Sholmes instead of Holmes.
Oh, really?
Sholmes is they say Sholmes because this was made after the Greatest Attorney translation. The official translation was.
Wait, so that's in the unofficial one, right?
No, the official translation says Sholmes.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch that. Huh.
So they had, because this is an official product being done after the official release of Greatest Attorney, where Herlock Sholmes is a real character. Wow. So the books in Ace Attorney Land are the Sholmes stories, not the Holmes stories.
Nice.
So they can't reference Sherlock Holmes or say I'm a natural Holmes. They have to say, "Oh, you're a real Sholmes right there." And I just think that's funny. The consequences of the Arthur Conan Doyle estate.
So right around when we get done, kind of talking with Saint and being assigned as like his sort of defense attorney person here, I think we have some conversation with Fender about like who being here, and I had predicted that it would be like Manfred or something, but I guess eventually it's not revealed to be that. So I kind of wonder where Manfred is, if all these famous
Manfred is dead.
Oh
yeah, didn't he get killed in prison?
It is implied that he either. It's implied. Francisca says he's dead in I believe, Justice for All.
Oh. I didn't know that. I must have missed that.
It is implied that he well, he died in prison somehow. I've always taken it as he was executed, but
You see.
he could have just like died of despair in prison, knowing that his like career was over.
Well, the other thing we get out of this part of the case is we get Gumshoe to go away. Although he is pretty helpful in this case, being a detective, he actually gets to be part of the real investigation.
He gets to give my favorite quote when he's leaving, which is, "I'm a real pro at letting things slip to the defense." It's just funny.
Yeah, I screenshotted that one.
Such a goofy guy. Oh my goodness, Gumshoe.
It's so true. He's so good at leaking information.
Yeah. And then we do some more investigating in the prison, and we get to meet another prison inmate. The return of Frank Solwit. Oh my god. I pogged when I saw him. I was like, I can't believe they brought the guy who saw it back.
There's actually there's actually a real reason why they specifically brought Frank Solwit back instead of like any other killer. It's because this game came out in 2011, and the first Ace Attorney game came out in 2001. So this is the 10th anniversary game. So who better to bring back than the first Ace Attorney character that you see?
Yeah,
Frank
literally game 1, case 1 tutorial. Frank Solwit, my boy.
You see him before you see Phoenix Wright in the game. He's in the intro.
That's true.
Like, oh, I really did it this time. I killed a lady.
Isn't the lady or him like the very first character you ever see? I think. Can't remember.
I think you see Cindy Stone technically first, but she's dead, and corpses aren't characters.
That's true. So Frank Solwit, the main character of the Ace Attorney series, finally returns.
True.
We get to do mind chess with him. We get to see him in all his glory with his new sprites and everything. It's pretty great.
Yeah, I like that the mind chess against him, like the main thing is that you have to wait for him to say something like, "If you're looking for the person who found the body, he's not here."
Yeah.
He's just awful at lying, so you just have to point that out to him repeatedly. Which is a real first killer ever syndrome that is doing him in.
Because I have an eagle eye for this, I did not see them say to bide your time in this one. And I gotta say that I did kind of like this mind chess. I would say this is the first mind chess of the game I was mostly okay with. That was pretty neat. So hopefully they can keep that going forward.
I will say, from a viewer point of view, because again, for all listener at home, I'm not playing through it. I'm watching Pixel Partners play through. And it seemed like the mechanics just seemed to run a little bit more smoother, or I guess just made more sense. And maybe it's that they're less stupid the second game now that they've understood it, or maybe I'm less stupid and know what to pay attention to, especially because it's most of the important stuff is on the little screen. But do you guys think that the mechanics were better, like the mind chess and the videos and other things? Was it better?
I think mind chess is okay in this game, although I am looking for it to be maybe used a bit more interestingly. One of the problems I didn't call this out because I forgot, but the Rocco mind chess that you had before, I had a slight problem with it where you you have two options basically, and it goes, you have to coerce him to say one thing in one option, so then when he's talking about the other option, you can bring that up as like the trap to get him to say what you need, like so that he contradicts himself. But maybe it's just a little bit awkward to me, I guess, because like if you've gone through all this conversation with him to have him bring that up, then wouldn't he know that he already said that? Like, why would he go ahead and say something else after that would contradict him? I mean, it's the same sort of thing with like when you're pressing people and you get them to bring up new information that could be used to contradict. Like they've done things in the past where you have them bring up something that contradicts another point just in the testimony itself. But maybe just the fact that this mind chess is a little bit more linear than like the more open-endedness of testimonies.
It's for if you're me and you like without fail always hit the option that requires the clue first.
Yeah.
Every mind chess so far that has had multiple decisions, I have always hit the one that does not actually progress anything first. That's-
Really?
that's- need a clue. Yeah, it's happened every time so far.
dang.
Is it because you're just not thinking, or sorry? That's not
Honestly,
what I'm calling it.
honestly, there's no indication which one you should do first. To be honest,
Really?
like,
Okay.
yeah, you kind of just pick one, and then eventually Edgeworth says, "I need more information," and it goes back to that screen. And it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
you just have to. You have to try to intuit which topic would be the last one, but I'm not. I'm apparently really bad at it, so I should
I just
intuit
don't
which
think.
topic I think
Yeah,
is the first one, and then choose the other one.
yeah, I just don't think there's any indication which one you should choose first. So,
That
but-
seems like a bad game design, honestly. But maybe it's not because you're meant to just like kind of get your bases before making a decision and moving forward. I don't know.
I don't really think the Mind Chess is meant to be like an intense gameplay segment. I think it's supposed to be like mostly a visual and writing thing that just is not just like a break from like the normal gameplay shakeup.
I mean, so far I have not
Super
been
amazing.
super impressed by the amount of times I've had to bide my time during it. So, but I'm open to it getting better. I will say,
I feel like this game should go a lot better than last one. I'm having hope for it.
yeah, I will say, the whole logic system in this game, something in this case I noticed, they were very, very simple in this one up until like the very last investigation section. I'm pretty sure you have like 2 or 3 investigations in this case, and for the very first 2 ones, any logic that you have to do only has like 2 pieces.
Yeah, I don't
Max.
think you. I don't. I think that this is like the first case since they have in all the investigations game where you like never carry any logic between segments. It's just always in one investigation.
Yeah,
At
which
least
I
like
found
that.
very strange. Like, there's no puzzle. Why even have logic? There's only 2 things I can combine. But I
mean,
guess the last one had.
It does at least. It does at least have a flag, so it can control progression that way. That's like the other thing about logic. That's like the one defense for it. I'm not really a big fan of the logic, as I've been saying, but that's like the game design theory for it that I have at least, is that like, oh, you can more easily control, since most of the critical stuff you have to see gives you the logic pieces, then once you have them all, you put them all together, it's like, okay, now we know the player is done, because you can do a lot of the stuff out of order. But
Yeah.
that wasn't really a problem at all Stern anyway, because you just had to examine everything in the first place, so I don't know if that was their logic that kind of solved a problem that didn't exist in the first place.
Yeah.
But it does make it very easy to look at everything in the room without accidentally progressing through the game, which is sometimes a problem I have.
Yeah. I agree with that.
It is. I always appreciate when they give more opportunity for control for the player, because it can feel like a very linear, streamlined game. Because I mean, it is. There's one plot, you get to a certain point every time. But to have those moments where they try to make you think, I still appreciate them trying to put it in. Like, if there wasn't a good spot for logic elsewhere, for them to be able to still put it in. Yeah, I can appreciate that.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. I will say throughout both of these games now, there's not been a point where I've gotten stuck and I don't know what to do next. Like, they very clearly say, this is the investigation section, find everything, and then it's over. And then we will take you to the next part. So, I haven't gotten angry about getting stuck or anything. But yeah, we got off track a little bit, but basically you got that interaction with Frank saw it, get some good lines. Edgeworth says, something tells me he may not have had the best experience with defense attorneys in the past. We also have him throw his hair at Edgeworth, so he gets to experience the famous saw it hair as well.
Really early on in the case, too, honestly, for Sawit to get so mad and throw his hair.
Well,
I mean,
Oh,
it's like
man.
about as long as he had in the first case before he did it, because that case is so short.
yeah, and as we eventually learned, was way more important in the future, although maybe not as important now. We did reveal the fact that his bracelet was broken and he was allowed to move anywhere in the facility. So I like how they bring that up now as like, okay, let's get that back on him, but then becomes a lot more bigger of a plot point later on. Good stuff on that one.
Are we to the point where he's in the workroom and like in the hallway and the screens? Is that what
we're in when they're in the hallway right next to the cells where you talk to Frank, and then eventually they're gonna go over to Knight's cell right after this. Investigate.
Okay.
Oh, well, I guess I go to maximum security first when we get introduced to Canis. Yeah. Bod Hidharma Canis. I'm just gonna call him
Harma.
Canis. I mean, I thought it would be. They kept saying you know who, and I said I thought it would be Von Karma, but this guy is fine too. He's kind of interesting. His head is kind of funny. I like that he's a very famous assassin, I guess.
I do question how bad Edgeworth's memory is now, since he couldn't remember the murder dog, but also he does say like Mrs. Monkey, Mr. Thief, so his memory is not very. We've already established that Edgeworth's memory is not very good in the first place.
Yeah.
Was it established yet in this case? Maybe I missed it. Like, what the connection between Edgeworth and the assassin are, or just them saying like, oh, they have history?
I
Or
mean,
was it Edgeworth that put it behind bars?
Edgeworth is the prosecutor who got him like convicted. That's it.
Okay. Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense. I do remember that now. Thank you.
Yeah, you go over to him. You learn. This is basically to start establishing his connection with Knight, and eventually we go over to Knight's cell. I guess I got to bring this up now because I'm pretty sure they mention it at this point in the case or somewhere at this stage of case. But they talk about the fact that the Verity and Winter went around and were searching everything and couldn't find they didn't find anything about like the murder weapon. That's one of the biggest established things, but they also just didn't find any of the clues. Man, I find it really hard to believe that they didn't find the hole under Knight's bed. I think you kind of have to take a leap in logic for them to not find that.
Yeah.
Winter, sure. He's supposed to be like a gag character right now who is very stupid. I get it. Verity? No way she missed that.
Oh yeah, speaking of gag character, didn't we skip his first testimony where he doesn't even get a testimony theme, it just plays his character theme over it?
Yeah, I think, I brought up that he existed, but I took a screenshot of Edwards just saying, I've never heard of you, so that was it.
Yeah, the joke is that he's the, like, teenage prodigy prosecutor, but he's just, like, comically bad at his job.
Yeah. I'll have a bit more to say about him once we get to, like, the testimony that you have with him right after this, but...
I mean, he's definitely being freaking, like, used and almost groomed in a way, like, by the, I don't know, what is her role? Is she a chief, a judge?
She's a judge.
She's part of, like, the council of prosecutors.
Yeah. Like, him, like, having to, like, ask her for confirmation for everything, it made me feel so sick. Like, this poor baby boy is just, he's 17, he's being, like, literally controlled by the political system and, like, made to feel like he's the best, which, what are their translation names in your version?
His name is Eustace Winner.
Oh my god.
Because he's the winner.
I hate that. Well, it was something the best in the fan translation,
They
which
reference
I like a little bit more.
They reference his fan translation name in this because at one point he says, "I'm D Winner," as in DE Winner.
Yeah.
or one of the like police guys following him around says that. I don't remember who says it, but they say D Winner at some point, which is a reference.
And then what was her name in the translation?
Verity Gavel, like gavel.
Gavel. Oh my god. Okay.
But she's got her cool. She's got her gavel.
gavel.
She's like the evil version of the judge, basically.
She has to have an extendable gavel so she can actually hit the ground with it. And
Yeah.
because they're not on the bench.
Is she officially British, or is that just something that Pixel Partners did? Because she was British the whole time.
I don't see her as British. She's supposed to be like a religious sort of figure.
She's
the
same nationality as
British
the
people can be religious, but
really,
she's supposed to be like a spiritual person. I don't know. That's the vibe I get from her.
Yeah.
Yeah, like goddess of law, like a cleric, kind of. Not a cleric.
I never got that she does that because chess and she's supposed to be a bishop, but that's always been my guess.
Bishop! Oh my god, it is chess.
Chess.
But
And then
yeah, I mean,
the little guy's a pawn.
I mean, the translation is also called Prosecutor's Gambit for a reason, and the reason is chess.
true, yeah. They got a lot of chess stuff in this game. They have people playing chess. I mean, I immediately see the parallels that she kind of has with Von Karma to Edgeworth with her and Winter, kind of. So I'm kind of hoping that I'm kind of predicting that there's going to be an arc where Edgeworth eventually helps Winter sort of see the light and not be in with these corrupt prosecutors. So
That's your own way. You can't do what they say all the time. Your mentor's gonna die, and then you're gonna have to adopt their younger sister, and then you're gonna have to figure it out from there. You're gonna have to pull yourself by your bootstraps. You can't go to mommy every time. Come on. In other words, I also hope that he has some sort of redemption for the best Winner. Eustace Winner. Oh my goodness.
Eustace Winter. But they gotta have him do a little testimony back and forth with you here just to get introduced to his character. His very childish remarks at Edgeworth. He calls him Edgeworthless. Yeah.
Ooh, bird. Really got him there.
What a guy. I like this thought that Edgeworth has where Eustace is like caught thinking about something and he's like, what was that pause for? Was he rebooting from a blue screen moment?
There's several times in this case where like you're talking with him and like he'll just pause and he'll start like thinking about something, but it's just like he's trying to figure out the definition of a word Edgeworth used.
Yeah.
Or like stuff that's like completely irrelevant to the actual case. He keeps slapping himself with his own conductor thing.
Yeah, that animation's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
They did
of blood and a character sprite instead of just a dead body.
Yeah, they did a good job at introducing him as pretty annoying at the beginning, and already after the first testimony, I'm like, oh, okay, I like him now, just because he's so stupid, but also very against you. So I can immediately see that dynamic they're going for. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of this part.
Well, Gavel gets to destroy your entire case.
Yeah. Gavel brings out some argument at the end and then once again says that, we're going to take your badge, Edgeworth. So you better not pursue this.
We're going to do it. We're
definitely not suspicious at all. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, I don't remember when this happens. I think it happens at the beginning of this next part. But, in Edgeworth's mind, he says, shiver me timbers. So, yeah.
Is that one where Kay, like, jumps in and finishes it for him?
Maybe. They're talking with Saint in the detention center area.
There's a recurrence bit where Kay just steals Edgeworth's thoughts in this case.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good bit. I'm a big fan. She's learning.
Also, I don't know why. I'll just bring it up now because I remember and I don't want to lose this thought. There's this sprite of Kay in this game where she's like she has her arms crossed and she's just like looking like straight ahead, and like she just really much reminds me of that meme of like the person with the blue eyes just like smiling and looking straight at the camera, except she has green eyes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Her eyes are just really big. I noticed. I was like, stop staring at me with those green eyes of yours. So, I don't know. Just felt the need to point that out. Maybe I can show you the sprite later,
but also I'm pretty sure that sprite is in the first Investigations game as well.
Yeah, I don't know why it took me so long to notice that. But
it was a little creepy. I also noticed it in this case for the first time. Mostly because Pixel Partners pointed it out, so
oh,
you're
really?
not the only one.
Okay. So maybe I'm not crazy then. Maybe they just use it so much in this case that I started to notice.
Maybe. Because they definitely did comment on it at one point.
We forgot to mention that Shilong Lang also shows up at this part for some reason.
Yeah.
He's there and then he's gone.
Well,
as I was remembering, like, the characters that we were going through that got introduced, and you're like, all the repeat characters, I'm like, wait, crap, Lang was in this case. What did he do?
Yeah.
Like, what significance did he have at all besides showing up?
He's there so that they don't have to completely introduce him later when he's actually relevant to a case.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, just for future story.
Yeah.
I guess I also missed it, but at the very
Because
beginning of this part, they introduced Fifi.
There is new developments with him in this case. He lost his 100-man crew. He's just a lone wolf now.
Yeah.
He's a lone wolf.
Man, there really is a lot to talk about with this case. Okay, we should go back for a second. They introduced Fifi Lagarde. I think we can all guess.
Oh, the warden.
The warden,
Yeah.
yes, Fifi Lagarde. I think we
They
can all
can't-
guess what the pun
You
is.
can't
supposed
use
to
the
be.
patrol pun because the patrol pun was already used twice at this point in the official translations.
Yeah.
Well, her name was like Roland something. I don't know.
Patricia
Roland?
Patrol. In the fan
Yeah.
translation, Patricia Roland for
I don't
Patrol.
think it had a pun in it at all.
It does. I'm explaining the pun right now. It's Pat Roll Patrol.
Oh, Patty Roll! Oh my god! Oh, okay.
But they used that pun for like 2 other characters in the official games. So they didn't want to do that again. I was looking stuff up, and apparently all 3 of those characters have the same pun name in Japan, where it's not the same name, but it's like the same pun in their name. So I guess they just felt rebellious and were like, no, we're not doing this for the 3rd time. Or more realistically, they're like, well, they did this in the fan translation. We don't want to do this in the official one.
That's fair.
We'll come up with something else.
I like her though. Her animations are pretty good. I was not such a fan of her kissing the animal around her neck on the mouth, but otherwise it was pretty cute.
She also kisses
kissed
Eddie
her
Fender.
back. It
Yeah.
wanted that kiss.
Yeah, the animal is consensual. Eddie Fender is non-consensual kissing.
That's true.
I think it is creepy that Ray was asking for a hug with every female that he got introduced to. But I did appreciate the warden matching his energy. That was pretty iconic.
I think
It
he
comes
asked for
off
a
as
hug
less
from
creepy.
everybody.
It comes off as less creepy in the official translation.
I don't remember him hugging any of the males. I don't think so. I remember it happening like 3 times, and it was all 3 women.
It could be. I mean, I didn't take screenshots of it or anything, but I definitely didn't feel like he was a creep. And
It comes off as less creepy in the official translation, as I said.
Okay, I'll believe you. It was just like,
As someone who has played through
Yeah.
both, it definitely comes off more creepy in the fan translation does in the official one.
I see. Okay. Well,
Thank you for explaining. You're our translator.
Yes, but we eventually get to go outside to where the Big Berry Circus performs and investigate around there a little bit. We also have this amazing moment where Kay is assaulted by an elephant.
Yeah.
And you can just stand there and have her get hit by the elephant for like a minute straight.
Over and over.
Which
and over.
There's an hour
is
long
maybe
video
what I
of her
did.
just sitting there, Kay gets beaten to death by the
Yeah. I may have just stopped on that screen for like a minute while I wrote down some notes about the case. We also get a great part after that where Edgeworth tries to tell the elephant to cease and desist.
Yeah.
So
Just points at it.
yeah, that'll work.
What was the elephant's name?
Kay's life. Elephant. I don't know.
I don't remember.
It was Asleek in the fan translation.
It's not
I
that
was
name.
just
It
curious
starts
if
with
it
an
had
A.
different.
It starts with an A, I think.
No, that's the alligator, Allie. I
Oh
don't
yeah, the
remember.
alligator has my name. It's so cute.
I can look it up.
I'm trying to look
I
up if Regina says it, but I
It's
can't
A.
remember.
Start with an A.
Anyways, though, Regina is here too because she's a part of the Big Berry Circus. Although I thought she was running it now, but I guess she's actually not running it. She's just part of the animal division of it now.
Yeah.
Since they
I
have
They've
actually feel
like,
probably
yeah.
allocated power and stuff. But I was gonna say also, I thought she was in charge of it since her father died. But
yeah, I guess
No,
not.
Mo is in charge of it because
Oh, that's right.
Mo is actually like intelligent and
That makes sense. Yeah.
was not like raised.
and not a
to-
child.
Yeah, she's only 17. She can't run a circus.
But I'm glad to see Regina back. It's cool that she's here, and also she gets to have a little interaction with Kay, where Kay tries to recruit her to her thieving guild, except
Yeah.
the negotiations break down, so that does not happen.
I like
unfortunately.
the recurring bit in this game where Kay keeps expressing a desire to form a team entirely comprised of like just girls like herself who want to be
The girl boss thieves.
Yeah.
Edgeworth is
Yeah,
not
I like
allowed
that
on.
the key difference was in showiness, and Kay being like, "Well, you gotta be sneaky because you're a thief," and she's like, "But no, it just got to be a performance."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, no, this isn't gonna work between us. Sorry, Queen, you know.
Mm.
And I appreciated how like you could tell Regina had like obviously like matured a little bit. Like I felt like she was less annoying as a character because she's not as much of a kid anymore. I felt like they did a really good job writing her this time around to like keep the same character but older and wiser.
She's like a year older.
Older and wiser.
She's definitely wiser in this game, and I will say why we're out. Unless you wanted to say something first, game. Well,
It is implied that everyone in the circus case is still working there because she mentioned some magician's department and a ventriloquism department. She still thinks
yeah.
that Ben and Trilo are different people because she says that that is the other department with more than one person in it.
Oh boy. Yeah. One thing I wanted to say though is they do a very good job of using very Big Berry Circus in this case compared to its debut case. I think the reasoning for that is because they kind of have it's sort of like a clash of tones here where you have this very dour prison with all these inmates that are like doing terrible things and like this famous assassin, and then really I mean you have like two circus people, both of which are very pleasant to be around. Saint is great to be around. His animations with money are great, and Regina, I mean, she's a great character in this case. So I'm just glad that they ended up handling the circus a lot better in this one. I think bringing it back was handled very very well. So
Yeah, to your like statement as well. I mean, the setting being in the prison entirely and not having like any sort of circus to it probably also helped with that. Is that you just get the essence of the characters and the animals and their relationship, and you don't have to focus on like all the crazy colors and the scenery and like I don't navigating the circus tent and things that it can kind of get all muddled as part of the experience. But I feel like I got to appreciate the animals and like money especially a lot more in this setting, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because it was such an animal oriented case that it changed the perspective, but I'm very much in agreement with you.
yeah, the animals are pretty nice in this case, I gotta say.
They were so cute. There's so many of them. They all have names.
Let's see though. Eventually, we get the return of Gumshoe's 7 Wonders of the World, which actually only comprise 3 wonders.
Yeah, we know about a fourth one, which is the bug detector.
Oh, that's true. I did not get to see all of these because I immediately picked Missile, and then we didn't get to see any of the other text for the other ones. But I think it's pretty cool how we get to actually have Missile be rendered in this.
I don't remember what they say for the metal detector because I remember the segment that comes later where you move Gumshoe, you control Gumshoe using the metal detector. So it's like, oh, that's what you have to use this for. I forgot Missile does things in this case.
Oh yeah, I guess you do use a metal detector eventually later as well.
Yeah. If you use the fishing pole though, Edgeworth tells Gumshoe to fish in the pool in the yard, and then Gumshoe's like, I caught a whopper, but it bit off it stole my bait and my line.
I also think that Missile worked so well as well, just because it was such an animal-oriented case already, that it makes total sense for you guys to have an animal on your side that you like utilize. So even if it was a brief interaction with Missile, I thought it was well placed, and I'm happy to have Gumshoe's. What were they called? His
7 wonders of
7 secret weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
He also brings out another one during this case too. So we actually know 5 of the 7 at this point in the timeline.
That's beautiful. We must discover the other 2.
And they've been pretty useful. We also start getting some indications of there being like a sweet scent around the body, and also eventually in the tunnel that you find in Rocco's cell. At first, I wasn't really sure what to think about this because I thought that they were just talking about like the smell of the blood, but I like that this eventually gets wrapped up with actually just being perfume in the end. That wasn't just a random thing they throw away. Uh, let's see. And we also eventually learn of the fact that Rocco has escaped, but is also somewhere still in the prison somehow. Because you have this big showdown in front of Canis's cell about who really done did it. I also have to say I find it very hard to believe that anyone would not immediately notice a prison guard that just randomly showed up and looks like nobody you've ever seen before and looks exactly like Rocco.
I mean, their security, as we know, is not super great.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Solid's band being... Which...
It's fine.
I can't remember if it gets fully explained.
It does.
Or, like, justified. But, like, that being broken for months and being unchecked, you know...
There's an explanation for that.
It makes you question the security.
This is just a...
Yeah. I feel it.
It's another one of those things I find kind of hard to believe, but I think the payoff for it is good because it has a cool moment where you realize that he's still here and then, you know, in the room that they're in.
And then you get to have him playing Presto for his testimony for some reason. Even though he's not the killer, he's just a guy who was trying to escape prison while this murdering was going on.
And you get to see his little bear moving around.
Yeah, this is a part of the case that is somewhat controversial in some circles, the whole Carcerato escape sequence thing. Because it does make the case, like, longer, definitely. Like, 30 minutes longer at least. And there are people who are like, oh, they probably should just cut this, because it doesn't really add that much, aside from, like, a red herring. But, like, I don't know. I was playing through the case again with that, like, criticism in mind. Like, I really do feel like it does set up a lot of the final confrontation where it's like, oh, well, we know when the body had to have entered the tunnel because of Carcerato's testimony. So, like, I think it works better than people give it credit for.
I think it works because as we eventually learned who the killer is, but the whole through line for me with this case was I honestly really didn't know who the killer was, like, the entire time. They really have you switch between, like, Canis and then Carcerato and then well, I mean, they're accusing Saint as well. I mean, you could think it, at least for me, I feel like for a long while there, it could have been any one of the prisoners. So
I felt so too. I was really unsure who it was going to end up being for quite a while, which is, I think, one of the only cases to do that. So, good job, prison turnabout. What was it called?
The kidnap turnabout.
Kidnap turnabout. Good job.
No, kidnap turnabout is Investigations 1. This is captive turnabout. No one's kidnapped in this case.
Good job, captive turnabout. I was gonna say kidnap doesn't sound correct, but I'll go with it. Captive turnabout.
I like Carcerato's breakdown. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it is. Like, continuing the tradition of them just having the animations of, like, a fist fight with him.
Yeah.
Carcerata. Who is that again? Sorry. The fan translation for your name.
J.
Rocco. Okay. Albert with the stripey in the face, the polar bear.
Boxer.
Okay. The boxer.
We also get a good winter moment in this scene where he says, "A chisel in the dog? Why is there a chisel in the dog?" I don't know. I like that line.
He's so stupid.
Yeah. But this case is not done. We have more investigating to do, so...
I'm always kind of surprised that they never, like, put that dog down, considering it is murder dog.
Yeah.
Literally called this god of death.
I was thinking about that. Like, this dog is kind of scary. Would it not scare the other animals?
Not only is it scary, it was actively used as a murder weapon.
Yeah.
It's his emotional support death dog. He needs his baby.
I feel like generally they don't like keep the animals alive once they have, like, a taste for flesh in the justice system, but Maybe things are different in Japanifornia than they are here.
They've got different laws for animal murder.
I guess technically the dog never did any of the actual murder. It just, cleaned up the body and everything else.
It's just an
Which is
accomplice,
helpless,
you
yeah.
know.
I thought it helped with
That's
the
different.
murders.
It helped, but I don't think it ever actually committed the murdering itself. I think they do specify that. But yeah, so then we have another pretty late into the game long investigation section where you try and piece together all the things happening with the well connected to the tunnel and the stuff happening with the Berry Circus during their performance. We also get the return of the Little Thief, everybody's favorite green. Yeah. I mean, it was fine here. I think it's cool that you get to actually switch between the two different times that
they immediately used Little Thief for like a way more complicated thing that was ever used for Ace Attorney Investigations 1.
Yeah. So it's a bit better here. I noticed that they changed the animations for her summoning it a little bit this time. It doesn't like make the screen go completely white at first anymore.
No flashbang.
Yeah, but
I really liked how they did the well and like showed that you didn't really have a lot of information about that. Not playing it myself, I feel like that would be helpful for someone who is kind of lost about what to do. It's like, I gotta find out more about that, which is definitely a benefit to Little Thief and the visualization of the crime scene.
Yeah. We got a whole lot of evidence here with like the pulleys and how they pulled off his getting hit by the elephant effect, which is pretty cool. I kept thinking at this point in the case that the murder weapon could have been one of the stakes that were used to hold the
one of the stakes
together.
that were left on the plate.
Nah, the do the pulley thing, but fortunately not. So, oh well.
That was a callback to an Ace Attorney case that I don't know the name of.
I think you're referring to the Samurai Turnabout.
Yeah, Steel Samurai, yeah.
The Samurai Turnabout?
The Samurai Turnabout.
That one.
Yeah, what if every case is called the something Turnabout?
I mean, hey, if I say Turnabout, it's like...
You're halfway there.
Guys, I gotta do the bridge Turnabout.
The bridge.
The farewell Turnabout. The goodbye Turnabout.
Exactly.
But
yes, this is the moment in the case where we suddenly have a lot of logic and stuff to figure out. They just kind of throw it on you. I think it's kind of interesting that they had this so late in the case, but it's fine. We also get...
You really, you had such a different perspective on the case and, everything that could happen. Throughout the whole thing, you had a very limited perspective on what it could be. So, it kind of felt like a whole, clean slate almost every time, even though it's not. You still have all the evidence to sort through. But it was kind of nice that what's the word I'm trying to go for? The progression, it felt good.
Yeah, they keep Edgeworth on the back foot the entire time. Every time you talk with Judge Gavil, she's like, she ends the conversation with, and also we're going to take your badge away if you keep going on. So...
Yeah. And they're always ahead of it, which makes sense because they are mostly doing the investigation.
Not having enough evidence to prove any one way is like, man, do I really want to keep going through with this? I don't know. So,
which I really appreciate them adding story significance to that feeling of you're a defense attorney and you're defending Simon, and you're doing this for him and because you believe in your client. And they had, I think, 2 or 3 different scenes about that with Kay and Edgeworth and Ray talking. Sorry, I don't remember the names that you were referring to, but
Fender.
Yeah.
Maybe talk with Fender about defending your client and smiling.
Yeah.
But
I thought that was very sweet and definitely it ties to the whole emotion of the case that we will talk about the ending later. And about the Edgeworth office and about his dad being a defense attorney and what that means to him. So I thought it was really sweet to see him open up his eyes a little bit to that and become more accepting of what that title means versus being a prosecutor.
Yeah.
Which is like the whole point of the story, anyways.
Yeah, they're definitely building it up. Moving right along though, you eventually have a section where Gumshoe pulls out his metal detector again. I pretty much immediately found the thing that they wanted you to find, so I don't know if there was any more funny gaffes in this section. But you find that the Allie, the alligator, has something metal.
These animals eating murder weapons.
Yeah. They kind of just like have that be an offhand thing, but it really comes in at the end. It's like the big turnabout, I guess. And then you learn about the breakers. And testimony with Gavil begins. Pretty good section of the game, I gotta say. I don't have anything specific. I don't have any specific notes about this testimony, but I do like how you eventually start to reveal the reason for the power outage. Also, Frank Sawit's involvement in the whole thing, like how that comes back, why he had a broken bracelet.
Yeah,
for so long.
in case you missed it, the reason why he had a broken bracelet is it was a favor given to him by Lagarde as a like thing to let him as a favor for him being in on the smuggling stuff to Canis.
He's got to do what he's got to do. And yes, eventually we do figure out that Fifi is the only one who could have had access to all this stuff and done the entire thing. So I think she comes out there of her own volition. We don't like bring her out or anything, and we gotta press her on all that stuff. It's pretty good testimonies in here. I like how when you're doing the one for the knife, it's definitely like if you hadn't remembered the stuff about the alligator, you would immediately jump to, well, she's probably hiding in her like office or something. But you got to point out specifically the little pond in the courtyard. So that's cool.
And then she has the most incredible breakdown, I think, of all of the Ace Attorney games. I have never squealed like I have for that breakdown. It was incredible.
They reveal that she was not in fact wearing a fur coat. She was wearing a bunch of tiny animals as well.
Like what?
Yeah, I really like her breakdown.
She had 20 boxes on
I also really like the like lead up.
They're poor babies.
The lead up to it where she goes through like a bunch of her animations while she's just like giving out motive rants right before she like does her breakdown animation is also really good.
Yeah.
Where the like Canis spells. The Canis spells like transitioning into prison alarms is really well done. It's a really, really good breakdown.
Yeah, that part at the end too, with the black and white stuff for her, they really did a great job at her breakdown. Like honestly, like better than any of the breakdowns in the first game. I don't know why they put so much effort into this one, but it really felt cinematic.
To have whose motivations are. I've become increasingly paranoid about this dangerous prisoner in my prison, and no one will do anything about him.
Yeah.
Instead of like every single killer being, I need to protect my involvement in the smuggling ring, except for Lanzamano.
That is really refreshing. That there is a pretty good motivation behind this whole thing.
I mean, the first case is just like envy and trying to get a promotion. And in this case is really complicated. I think you're the subordinate of this man who I've been increasingly freaked out about over the past like years.
Yeah.
Which I think is fun.
It's good that there's an explanation why Knight ended up being killed. I was kind of thinking it might have played into a more overarching thing, but it sort of seems like the whole thing with the Council of Prosecutors is going to start to take center stage now. So, but yeah, I audibly laughed out loud when I saw that it was revealed. It was just a bunch of other animals. That was very funny.
It makes so much sense, because like, why the heck is she wearing a giant fur coat in this prison?
Yeah,
it makes perfect sense.
I also, I was kind of hoping that one of you would be like, oh man, I wonder if Knight's gonna come back in the later cases, last case. Because like the last thing he says before he's investigated is, I'll have my revenge, Edgeworth, this game isn't over yet. And he just comes back as a dead body. He's
Yeah.
back in corpse form.
You said
but-
Knightley says that?
He does not
Oh,
get his
shoot.
revenge.
Well, listen, I played the fan translation first. And I'm sick.
Um,
I will
and
play that
then-
card.
One other thing about this case as well that I really liked, just before you get her breakdown and like you're trying to figure out one last piece of evidence to tie her to it with the knife. Bender says, "If there's any way to force a turnabout here, you're the one who'll find it." Like, that's the thing. Turnabout.
It's almost like
That's
the
the
series, the name of the series is Turnabout Trial. Oh wait, that's the Japanese name.
Yeah. There we go. I figure out that the killer is Fifi doing it in self-defense against the assassin.
Is it really
that's taken over
self-defense?
Prison, except she actually goes after an innocent person technically in this case. Although I guess Knight isn't innocent, but
He's innocent in the thing that he got killed for.
yeah,
And also got killed while he was just like sitting there handcuffed in her office.
yeah. But there you go. That's the case, and then we put her behind bars, and we get a great screenshot of Eustace at the end saying it's winning time. I loved that. His famous
that's his,
catchphrase now.
It's Morbid time. Let's go, random forensics
Morgan
guy.
Park!
It's winning time.
I'm the best.
Oh, what a guy. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Captive Turnabout. A lot of characters introduced in this
So many
case.
good characters.
Decent amount of stuff built up to think about for the future, and yeah, I mean, I guess before we get into rankings here, Goomb, any final thoughts on this case? How you felt about it, or any other little tidbits we didn't mention?
Not really.
Alrighty, what about you, Allie?
Awkward.
I do have extra thoughts. I forgot to mention it when we were talking about the pulleys, but I thought that the visuals that they had for that scenario to help you like think through the process and the well and all the visuals and diagrams and graphics is the word I'm looking for. I thought that they were all really well done. I thought that they really helped to add like new things to the game, so it's not just the same investigation, look around the room, connect logic, whatever. Like it felt like they really did a lot with this case to add so much more, like so many elements to it. And I thought that they all came together really well. I thought that there was a lot of really good evidence. I'm obsessed with the animals and the prison method. And I really wasn't thinking that the warden would be the killer in the end, but I was pleasantly surprised. I was kind of hoping it would be the British lady, or the Eustace winner, the best.
Oh, it couldn't have been a winner. He's on the box art. There's no way they get him out of there in this first
That's
case
what
he
I
shows
was
up
gonna
in.
say. Is I didn't realize until halfway through the case that they were on the box art. That I'm like, oh crap, these are like the rest of the characters.
Yeah.
They're gonna stick around for a while.
Collectively, they're the rival of this game. Both of them together.
Yeah.
They're like the Shilong Lang role, or the Godot role, if you will.
Yeah, they're not gonna kill anyone yet. So, but after that, it was like, yeah, there's like one person it could be. But no, I mean, it was such a good case. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think immediately the rivals of this game are stronger than Lang. Mostly because they're actually introduced pretty early on and not in the third case of the entire game, which is a good idea, I think.
Yeah.
They did a very good job establishing their characters early in this game, which is good. I am excited to see what the ramifications of the Council of Prosecutors will be in the future. I kind of am thinking that is probably a thing limited to only this game. I don't expect it to have too much of a sway on future games, so they're probably going to get that wrapped up in this one. Guess we'll see.
They don't like to have major things between games. Remember this?
Yeah,
I brought that up when we were talking about this.
I mean, they might mention it in the future, I'm guessing, but not like I don't think it's going to be a major thing. I do expect that to be. I'm pretty sure the blurb for this game was like corrupt prosecutors or something. So I think that is the main issue in this game. And I mean, they seem to be pressing it pretty hard, as many times as they threatened that they would take Edgeworth's badge. But if they take that,
do it. Let me add, they didn't do it.
If they take that, how am I supposed to show it to everybody? What the heck? Can't take that.
I don't even think Pixel Partners showed the badge to anyone this case, which is incredibly disappointing.
We do get to see Fender's badge. Looks exactly like Phoenix. So, probably because he's a defense attorney. They do also.
He's an ace attorney.
Yeah, they do. They do also specifically say, like with Gavil, like she's supposed to be a judge, but she's like, yeah, the defense is like the side of evil, basically, which is, yeah, definitely an opinion to have. So, I don't have the highest opinion of Gavil yet, but she's like supposed to be the main antagonist. So I guess we'll see if she's either redeemed or is more like a villain kind of character. So, but yeah, I guess if that's all of our thoughts for this case, we can go ahead and go into the rankings, starting with me this time. I'm gonna give my ranking this time.
What the fuck?
Was a pretty good case, I gotta say. That's why it's going at spot number 7 on my ranking, just below the Stolen Turnabout, just above Turnabout Reminisce from the last game, making this case better than anything in Ace Attorney Investigations 1, in my opinion. So we're already off to a good start for this game, I gotta say. And that is 7 out of 21 cases we have done so far. So top third, very good. What about you, Goomb? What's your emotion for this game?
You know, there's like an entire bottom half of the emotion chart I don't use very frequently because I like these series, but this series, but I'm gonna say this case makes me feel creative somehow. It just feels. Listen, I have to have leave room in the upper tiers. I like this as like a top tier case. I think it's better than like Pleasant. I don't know. I think it's like one step below Happy, and I guess what creative is if you like look on this very great chart.
But better than the first case of 2 so far?
Yeah, I like it more than the first case of 2.
Okay.
They did a lot of things with this case, I felt. Thus, I feel like creative is a good word to describe it.
Yeah. Animal prison.
That's like the emotion that I'm supposed to be feeling. I don't really understand that part of it, but.
All right, Allie, what about you? Where's your little ranking for this case? I mean.
So because I am driving and I can't actively look at it, I don't remember what I put as number 1 S tier, but put this as like second or third. I really like this case. I think a lot of it is like the niche social justice aspect of it, and just how invested I got really quickly in the animals and the significance they had. But I don't know, I just had a really good time with this case overall. Like when I am going to remember Ace Attorney years down the line, or am going to replay it, this is definitely going to be one of the cases I'm the most excited to come back to, or like remember, because it is such a standout. In the same way that Very Big Circus was a standout. So it's cool that they brought it back for this one as well. So yeah, S tier for sure. I don't know if my opinion would change, like having played it myself, and had like the little frustration moments, but I mean, overall it sounded like this one was a lot smoother than any of the first game. So
I didn't really have any frustrating. I only had one frustrating moment at the beginning of this case. That was it. That I did not get annoyed at anything else in this case, I would say.
Yeah. So hopefully it wasn't changed very much. It's an overall good case.
I wouldn't put it that high, but yes, it is a very good case.
Yeah, I mean, my having just watched through it, and I don't have my list to reference. I mean, I'm definitely gonna give it a higher score than it probably deserves, but
yeah, it's gonna be hard for another case to. In my ranking, it's gonna be hard for another case to break above the Stolen Turnabout, because I just think what they do with that case, with the whole proving somebody as innocent causes them to be proven innocent for another case that they committed. That whole thing is cool. So
there was a lot of layers to that one. That was really well written.
But
It
all
such
right.
like a climax story too. That's a good ranking.
Well, that is all of our thoughts on this case. Allie?
Did you have a favorite animal companion?
I guess if you bring up the animals, I don't know if I necessarily had a favorite animal companion, all besides maybe Money. Although the monkey roaming around in there did remind me of the Eliminators from Resident Evil 0, so I got PTSD. There we go.
Yeah, that was your least favorite animal companion then?
Yeah, I was scared of the monkey running around in the prison.
I like how if you examine the rocks that monkey uses to climb, like in the middle of the prison area, Kay says she wants to climb them, and then later when they run away from the dog, she actually does.
Yeah.
She sprinted to those rocks to climb it before Edgeworth got to her. Like she was gone to go climb them. It's so cute.
Well, she is a ninja, so.
She
Or
is
thief,
a ninja.
thief,
She just
ninja,
wants to be a ninja.
ninja thief thing.
A great
She's a-
Yamakarasu.
She's a thief who doesn't steal anything, who wants to be a ninja.
He was on sabbatical right now
Yeah.
because this case
I-
takes 2 weeks after the last game. So
I wish that it had more screen time, but I guess it makes sense that it didn't. But the cat and Kay and the guard meowing back and forth, laughing my butt off. It felt like us. It felt like being in the Duckpond. Just going meow meow meow.
I did like the cat. Yeah, I liked how that police officer kept meowing to the cat.
And to Kay, and then Kay would meow back. It was just so many little interactions like that that really built up the case. I loved this case. It was so good. Did you have a favorite animal companion, Goop?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, with that, Allie, where can people find you?
You can find me at my apartment because I just got home. I just got home safely.
What about you, Goomb? Where can people find you at?
I'm currently being dragged through a well by a dog. I'm holding in some stuff to smuggle into a prison. You know how it is.
Ah, I see.
Why do I hear a bell?
Find Goomb in the well. Well,
Where can I find you, Ziggy?
as always, you can find me here on the Zigzam YouTube channel. Make sure when you're doing your testimony to press the subscribe button and the like button and the bell for more Duckpond Ace Attorney Book Club content. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We will be back
Join us next week.
in around 2 weeks, actually, because the next case
Join us next
is
week.
extremely long. So we need extra time to do it. And also I have finals coming up. So
Everyone tell Ziggy good luck on your finals.
all right. Well, we'll see you in the next one then. Bye-bye.
Bye.